Howdy, folks. I think today we're going to address a big elephant in the room for some of y'all. Let's say we get to it. I keep doing that in the front of my videos. I don't know if people appreciate that, but I do. Oh, train tracks. Ugh. I love doing that. It's one of the things about these pegs up front, man. They don't feel comfy to stand on. They don't feel like they should be stood on, but you can. You just can't hold it like you could if you were on mid controls. Anyways, today, why do Indian motorcycles suck? This is gonna sound like it's a little bit of a video response to Shade Tree Surgeon. No, I love that guy, man. He kind of had it spot on a little bit. Spot on a little bit. He kind of does what I do and create a real inflammatory title and then totally kind of go against it in the most correct way possible. Well, I think this is a little bit of a two-part question. So there are those who think that the Indian motorcycle brand does nothing but copy Harley-Davidson. Well, there's some truth to that. Well, what are they copying Harley-Davidson doing? Are they making big touring bikes that Americans like because American roads are very long, narrow, and God, you spend hours on them? Well, yeah. So let's look at what we got. We got the Harley-Davidson Road King. We got the Ultra Classic. We got it's slipping my mind what the big touring bike is called. Big full fairing, that kind of thing. And then you got Indian making the Roadmaster, the Chieftain, even the Chiefs to some extent, along with the Springfield. For a while there, as they were starting up, yeah, that's all they were doing. They were creating big V-twin, 2-valve, pushrod, oil-air cooled engines that were just big and lopey, and they fit well for long-distance highway travel. And then you got other brands, like you got the Honda Goldwing, which, let's be honest, that thing is in a class all its own. I don't think there's anybody alive who thinks the Goldwing is competing with anybody else other than just maybe sport touring folks that have a lot more baggage. Because, you know, it started out like a freaking Honda Porsche engine, and then they decided to add 2 more cylinders, and now it's just this big torque monster that's as smooth as could be that can hold a lot of shit. That's not really what Harley goes for. No, Harley kind of goes for, I want to look good, and also I want to sound good, and also I want to be a big comfy road couch. And, you know, is Indian doing that? Absolutely, they're doing that. Are they doing it well? I would say so. This is where my bias comes out because I've never really tested a big twin Harley. I need to. I want to get some more of those under my belt. But I'll say this, man. Yeah, they're kind of creating the same style of bike, but they're arguably doing it in a way that's somewhat different from Harley in the materials they're using. They're going with fork-mounted fairings as opposed to frame mount. They are essentially doing it just a lot like a Harley. And to some extent, I can't really blame them because, well, if you've got a winning formula, why change it, you know? So yeah, Indians copying Harley-Davidson when it comes to their big twin bikes. Mostly. But it's the American winning formula. Big V-twin, comfy road couch, handles okay when you need it, big brakes. That's what wins in America. And to some extent, it's actually taken a lot of customers away from Harley, which, that's what I said. Indian doesn't really need to establish their own market, although they are doing that to some extent with the FTR 1200. They need to get in the American market and show Americans that they have choice. Now let's talk about where we stray from that path a little bit. Well, for instance, what the hell am I riding? It's an Indian Scout. This thing strays from the Harley Sportster in that sort of area of the market quite a bit. And if you followed my channel before, I'm pretty sure you guys have known that I'm not really a big fan of American motorcycles. I've always thought the Japanese do it better, and, you know, in my opinion, they do. That was until Indian came along and said, hey, let's compete with the Harley Sportster using the technology that other people outside of us use, which is better, more refined, but we can establish it in the American market instead. And, dude, God, have they done that. Harley goes, you want a V-twin? You got it. The Japanese goes, you want a V-twin? You got it. You want it to be reliable? You got it. You want more valves? 2 valves, 3 valves, 4 valves? You can have whatever you want. You want more horsepower? Take it. And then Indian just goes, hey, we can do that. And I still say, I mean, I don't have a lot of riding experience on a lot of different cruisers, but I've ridden Japanese, I've ridden American. I think America's finally won my loyalty. So yeah, Indian Scout, fucking monster machine, dude. I take this over the Sportster 1200 I rode any day. I think we can now get into part 2 of this video. It's just a Polaris. All right, so what? We can look at the Harley shovel heads and we can just go, it's just a bowling ball. Man, AMF Harley-Davidson, that was not the best of business partnerships. Oh man, I love that. This engine just screams, man. Yeah, it's just a Polaris, but it's just freaking awesome. It's like, alright, I don't have much experience with jet skis or side-by-sides. They're Polaris Razor. I don't know much about them, dudes. I just know this bike is nuts. I could not get what I get on this bike on the Harley Sportster 1200. From the outside looking in, that seems like a pretty shallow perspective, but it's really not. This thing just climbs and revs. It breathes frickin', it's fast. It is so fast, and it's a great platform for customization. You can turn this thing to a flat tracker, you can turn it into a cafe racer, which, I'm kind of on the fence and thinking about doing it, because it feels like a cafe racer, you know? It's just like freaking energy whenever you want it. And even there's actually some hardcore Indian fans who'll be like, yeah, it's just a Polaris. And these are the people that can afford $35,000 1951 Indian Scouts and Indian Chiefs, and it's like, well, hey, good for you, man. You can afford to put a down payment on a house, on a machine that you constantly have to take care of. And if you want it to hold its value, you have to just leave it in your living room. It's like, they're gorgeous bikes, don't get me wrong. I love the old Indians. Never ridden one. Don't think I'll probably have the chance to, at least not anytime soon. And here's the funniest part. There are the Indian fans who go, well, that's just a Polaris. It's not like a real Indian like mine. And they've got like a they've got like a 2000s Indian Scout Spirit or Indian Chief, to which those people I would just say, dude, okay, I've got a Polaris, but you've got a Harley. We really want to talk about copying Harley with Indian here. That's what they literally did. They just went and they got S&S engines, which I don't care what you guys say. Those things are Harley engines. They're designed like Harley counterpart engines. They're designed and engineered to be better and slightly more reliable than those Harley engines. Maybe put out a little bit more power. But they're Harley engines. They are not Indian engines. And in fairness, why would you copy an Indian engine if you're having to take one from the 1950s and transplant it into a modern frame back in the 2000s, you know? That's whatever. I'm picking on you guys. All Indians are sweet. Some are just a lot sweeter than others. So yeah, we got a jet ski company making motorcycles. We've got a bowling ball company making motorcycles. Even if it's not them making them anymore, come on. It's part of the history. This is how capitalism works, man. There's just companies buy each other. Companies save each other from the brink, and companies flourish. And right now, I think Indian's doing that slowly but surely. So these were just my thoughts on the motorcycle industry as it is in America. I know abroad it's a little bit different because you guys have a much bigger base of BMWs, KTMs, Aprilia, Ducati, Triumph. A little bit different for you guys, and that's okay. Kind of happy y'all don't have to deal with the relentless patriots over here. But yeah, these are just my thoughts. What do you guys think? Are you in America as well? Chances are, if you're watching this, you probably are, because that's what my YouTube analytics show. Like 99% of my audience is American, and 99.95% of my audience is male. I gotta do something to reach out to the ladies, guys. Like the German ladies, the Swiss ladies. You guys like motorcycles? You should. Of course, it'd probably help if I spoke German. But what do you think? Do you like your bowling ball Harley? Do you like your side-by-side Polaris? Who f***ing cares? Ride what you love. As long as you're riding, it shouldn't be a problem. Until it is. Harley. That's gonna be it for me today, you guys. Y'all take it easy.